You gotta start the show.
Okay, I have to introduce the whole thing now. This is Grindstone.
There's a joyful noise going on in my neighborhood tonight. I've heard it one time before, and this noise is the noise of a band. Yep, like as if it's the 80s or the 90s when people are in their house. You can hear the window open or they're in the garage and the band is practicing. hmm It's the sound of people being together. It's the sound of people practicing something and they're saying, we gonna make it. It's not studio fugaziness. It's not even rap. It's some white boys over there jamming like they're gonna be a band, in the house, upstairs. But they got the window open and it's permeating the neighborhood. It's breaking the veil of silence and monotony. Because apparently somebody told them that they could make it. And it's those types of sounds that, to me, represent an unstoppable force. They didn't have to go, they weren't stopped by, we got to rent studio time. We got to put our suntan lotion on, and somebody got to watch the puppy, and somebody has to figure out 100 things before we could get busy. So I'm taking note of this, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna peep when they practice, and I'm gonna go over there one night, and I'm gonna ask them the name of their band and where they grooving at, and who knows, I might even get down with them. You know what I'm saying? It's not my space to get down with them, but I want to see what that sound turns out to be. Because that is the sound of people believing they matter despite all this other business. And we're in a time and in a place and in a space where, we're always in that, but especially right now, where people are subjugated to feeling like they are somebody, or maybe they aren't somebody, based on what they can afford. And that's always been a thing with this system. When I say the system, I mean just this, this American system. But I feel at this moment in time right now, you have several things happening very, very fast. People are running the curve of time is pushing people through faster right now. Like things were going kind of like this, and then it's kind of like you hit the corkscrew of the roller coaster, and everybody got their hands up right now, like, yeah, we're hitting the loops of the roller coaster right now, collectively. And so when somebody just takes control of how they feel in this time, you gotta love it. And so I commend them young dudes for just being the soundtrack of that for me tonight. Yo, I want you to be the soundtrack of that for you, and we're going to get comfortable right here with episode 77 of Sorry for My Language, baby. Oh, yeah. Let me get comfy. All right. Hey, look, this is episode 77 of Sorry for My Language. Wow. 77. That's supreme. That's God. We're just coming off a full moon, man. That's a beautiful number. Made it to episode 77. It all started because I believed that I could do this. and we just gonna keep trudging along. I don't know how many episodes you've seen, but if this is your first time, welcome to Sorry for My Language. I'm your host, Grindstone. This episode, as all the episodes thus far, are sponsored by Grindstone Universal. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com where you'll be able to peep out the fashions. We're the epitome of urban luxury. Fly stuff only. Believe that. Actually, this shirt, this is not a Grindstone. I'll speak on this in a sec, but this is my man Bobby Joseph. Go to bobbyjoseph.com, and hey, I'm just a fan of his, friend of his, fan of his. But yeah, yet and still, that's another person believes that he can. I believe that I can. I believe that some of you can, not all of you. I don't know you all. And so here we are in the 2025 year, Anna Domini, and a lot of us have been pushed to believe in this thing called money. It takes money. Cash money. Don't it though? Money is a trip. Run DMC said, money is the key to end all your woes, your ups and downs, your highs and your lows. Tell me the last time love bought your clothes. It's like that, and that's the way it is. There are times where I wish money didn't matter. I'm troubled by money. And then I'm put at ease by money. But the one piece of advice that I have to all of you Americans is get your money on. If you didn't hear me, I said, get your money on. See, let me lay it out like this. As a man, I can't speak for women at this very moment, but in this moment, I'm going to speak as a man. If you plan on being the leader of your life, and if you want to be the one in charge of the household, where your voice means a lot, where people look at you in a way where you would be highly revered as somebody who is knowledgeable of how things work, it would behoove you to go get your money on. In all seriousness, this system that we've set up, so walk it back with me. Let's walk it back. Let's take it all the way back. Imagine if there was not a such thing as money, right? Because sometimes we're just like, man, fuck money. Money is in the way of all the shit. Man, how come the sun is free, water is free, electricity is free, it's caused by friction of the clouds and wind current, electrons, whatever the fuck, right? We want to just say, like, why can't we just live like cats? Shit. All the cat really got to do, I think, is fight. I don't think it's a such thing as cat money. I'll be looking at the cats in my backyard and I'm like, man, these niggas get to sleep during the day. In the city, they don't have any natural predators. You know, now during the mating season and on some territorial shit, it's gonna be some cat fights late night, early morning. It's some cat fights. I done seen some cats get jumped on for real. But fuck it. You just gotta fight for yours then. Fuck it. Right? But I guess whatever the thing is that makes the main cat who determines what territory they rule, the thing that makes the main cat have is catatory, is its currency as something dominant or wise in cat world, something of use. And then if you're not the one, you got to be smart enough to know how to be the two or the three. So the one don't look at you as a threat and wipe your face off with some claws, put paws on you. So I guess if you're a cat, all you got to worry about is fighting. And you're kind of like homeless already, right? You're outside and shit. You're sleeping under shit, walking on the tops of fences, and, you know, you're kind of just roaming. Times get rough, you eat a rat. You know, so I don't know, cats got their own problems, but it seems like their life, but I wouldn't know this, you know, but it seems like a cat's life is kind of easier than ours. Now, not a bird. A bird, it seems like they chilling, but bigger birds want to fuck them up. Cats want to fuck them up. A raccoon might sneak your ass if you're a bird. Bird got to lay his eggs. You know, your eggs might get fucked off. A hungry human might come eat a damn robin egg or some shit. You know, it's tough on little birds. I wouldn't want to be no damn bird. Fuck that. Hell no. But I'm saying all that to say that when it comes to money, currency, finance, humans have created a very complicated system in which one must live and damn near master to be the one. And you got to be worth some shit to be the two, right? Now, the money problem is a problem mainly because we're not generationally educated. We're not classically educated on knowing how to even use this shit. Like we don't even know, we don't truly know how to use the system. We don't even know how to use our words to make our reality change from one thing to another thing. And we all know. In the beginning, there was the Word. And the Word became flesh. If you don't know nothing else, you need to know that repeating something to yourself, repeating something out loud, makes certain shit edge towards being a reality, right? So even if you say, I just made a song. I'm a millionaire. I'm a healthy millionaire. Hey. You know. Even if you say things over and over, your subconscious mind will edge towards becoming that. You'll lean towards getting there to get what you need, even if it's money, right? I've done it before. There's a wonderful movie, cult classic called The Mac. And in The Mac, there's a scene. The Mac basically is a story about a pimp who he's a Mac. He was incarcerated. He gets out of jail. He has visions of becoming rich, and he became rich, and he ended up losing it all. However, his visions of becoming rich, to me in that movie, were key, where he didn't have anything but game. And he looked at himself in the mirror. He saw this money falling on him. He just saw himself having bread and having things. But it all started in the mind, because in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. And that's where we have to understand we have the power to change things. We could change our own lives. But try out this other thing I tried today. Try fucking reading. Yeah. You can actually read and learn some shit. You could read a little bit of shit every day and learn so much more by the next time you see one of your good friends in person. That's how reading works. It's almost like magic, right? Because we have to cover this ground of this deficit that we have of not knowing about money somehow, because we're not taught this shit. Now, one thing that Jewish people learn young is at least the transmission of funds generationally, and at least the collective work of putting money towards somebody so then they have a easier go financially than the people before them. At least they have that. You know, you ever heard of a bat mitzvah? Huh? L'chaim. I think we just had Yom Kippur and another Jewish holiday, Rosh Hashanah. I think we're in Jewish holiday season. And man, they getting together in the biggest of ways, and they're passing down them funds. You know, so it really doesn't matter when you learn, but I'm gonna tell you this: you're gonna have to learn today. You're gonna have to learn. You will learn today. Either you're gonna suffer a fucking power outage, a water turnoff, a car problem, a tax problem. You're gonna want something and can't get the shit. Your card is gonna be tapped when you try to pay for that lunch or dinner where you was trying to impress pretty little baby girl. Your gym membership is gonna expire. Some shit is gonna fuck up if you don't learn about money today. Or if you learn about money today, you'll be able to plan. Put a little something aside. Put a little something aside. And I know that as Americans, we're all on we're at the bottom of the class in knowing about money, really kind of like globally, because we don't look at money right. We look at money as a thing that you have to hoard as opposed to a thing that you have to use. We hoard it and we blow it. We hoard it, we blow it, right? Pause. Something to feel on her booty too. From the heart. If I was young and rich, I'd marry you, but I'm old and I hate so. But let's talk about it. So, ladies, how do you feel if you are the one who is considered the breadwinner in your relationship and you have a man? Now, I'm going to say the breadwinner in this way. Not just that your occupation is making you more money, but your occupation and your effort in that occupation is making you more money. How do you feel? Do you feel like your man can compensate for that? Or do you look over at your man like he's a stain on the carpet that you're going to have to get up out of there eventually? Like, how do you feel? I mean, ultimately, it comes down to which deposits fall in the bank. But for instance, your man, he might be like he might run he might have a wonderful job as a mechanic, right? And he might be the best mechanic, reliable guy. He has a lot of currency in terms of social currency in his community. People might love him. He's saved families. He fixed dad's car. Dad had a son. He's fixing son's car. Of a lot of families, right? So, and he loves what he does, and that's his shop. But you might be the attorney as the woman, and then you make more bread. Now, y'all are both giving big effort, in which, in that situation, I can only assume that he would get the respect that he deserves as a hardworking person. But what if you're giving your work as a high powered woman, giving a certain effort, and your man makes less money and he's giving less effort at his thing that makes less money? Like, how do you feel? Think about that. And then on the flip side, think about, how do you feel if your man gives less effort but makes way more money? Well, I'm only to assume, and in this case, I'm a think for you, but you could chat it up in the comments. Um, Wait, sidebar. The funny thing about some of this is that I be talking about real shit, and there might, every now and then, somebody might hear a little slice of their own life and something that I'm saying. And if you think I'm talking about you, I am. But we get to borrow out of each other's lives, right? Hmm. Yo, I keep forgetting. During a show, I should only drink water because drinking kombucha, it's like drinking a match. You drink that shit and it's like, ew, woo. That shit should be flaming up my jowls. But think about it. If your man is kind of chilling and he's living like he's living a life of relative leisure, feet kicked up, and he busts a couple moves here, busts a couple moves there, and then he's making yacht money. You ain't really probably tripping off how hard the nigga works if he's lugging the bag home, right? If them direct deposits is hitting, if that couch that y'all sitting on is soft, if ain't nobody coming by threatening the man because he don't own nobody, you probably chilling. His apparent effort doesn't matter because the result is there. But if the result's not there and the effort's not there, we looking at you funny, right? And all that equates to currency. And so here we are in America, and I don't care how you fucking slice it, you got to get your money on. And a lot of the times getting your money on is per your lifestyle, right? So you can't be living a Waldorf Astoria lifestyle, but you making Motel 6 money. You can't be faking. That shit gonna catch up and it's gonna look crazy and you'll be frustrated, right? So we all have to live within our supposed budget. But we could have the vision. And we could always say, I'm a millionaire. I'm a healthy millionaire. All right, but let's get to it. So when it comes to money, this is the serious part about the shit. We have paper money and we have coins right now. That money can be transferred from person to person to person without a trace, and every person can use that money with equal cause or with up to their discretion. We've recently slipped into
the credit card.
And I'm saying recently, past 40 years, right? Maybe not 40 years, 30 years, something where the debit card has become a thing where you're not even touching cash anymore. Now, the problem with the debit card is that every time you use a credit card or a debit card, if this person wants to spend with this person does the debit card, and then it has to go to this person first. That's the banking system. And then it goes to this person, right? So instead of going boom to boom, it goes boom, boom, boom. When if you just have cash, it goes boom, boom. And if it goes boom, 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 then boom has a fee, right? So this person right here has a fee attached to this transaction between A and B. What the fuck? So that means that when this person receives the bread, it's not worth as much as it was. So then you keep circulating like this, and then this recipient keeps receiving a dollar worth less, and this person holding this position, which is the central banking system, they get more and more and more of that transaction until this is nothing. And then this person and this person, they got to go find some brand new money. They was just, when it was paper, they could just volley that joint back and forth, and they could just win back and forth like Pong, which was like one of my favorite video games when I was younger. Pong. What a simple life we lived. So, as we all know, paper money is soon to be phased out, right? So with paper money being phased out, we have to figure out a way to do transactions without the central banking system being part of it. We have to figure out a way of trade. Now, this goes back, I know I skipped around. This goes back to me saying, let's take it all the way back to where there was no money, right? And we're living like cats. Well, if there was no money today, if somebody got on the microphone and said, my fellow Americans, today I'd like to announce there's no longer a such thing as money. So you'd be like, whoa, because I was getting sick of that money shit, man. That shit was hard to keep, right? Well, then, okay, man, I'm thirsty, and I don't live near water. Where you gonna get that? Where you gonna get that bottled water from? Where you getting that water from? What you gonna do? How you gonna handle that? Well, hopefully you know how to tap into a well system, or hopefully you know somebody with something, but they have to be willing to share. Now, what if you know somebody who lives on a natural spring and they are willing to share? Or better yet, let's say you live on a natural spring and you know how to tap into that water source. And you have friends who would like for you to share, and you're willing to share. What a society that is. But then what if somebody feels you're not sharing enough? And they get tired of getting that little 1 gallon a day. Because they're like, I want to take a shower, and I want to boil me some eggs, and I want to brush my teeth, and I want to drink some water. Well, what are they to do? We don't have money, right? So everybody has to be in this sharing mind state. Everybody has to feel the same way. Okay, well, shit. Then what happens? That's when you get into motherfuckers taking shit. If you don't have some okay way that things can be traded, where we understand that you get this for this many of these, and I'll give you that for this many of those, well, then you get into, well, I'm going to take your shit, and you have to be man enough to govern that. And if you're not man enough to govern it, it's mine. And I want your lady too. And tell her to wear red. I'm coming through. So that's what happens when you don't have a agreed upon system of barter, right? Now, one thing that is free is the sun. You go outside, everybody gets some damn sun. Everybody loves the sunshine, right? You can get that. But then when it comes to the basics, food, clothing, shelter, you don't want to stay anywhere that's too hot and you're unable to control it, too cold and you're unable to control it, too damp, you're unable to control it, too dry. You know, you kind of want your conditions to be kind of controllably nice and livable. And for that, you have to be able to have an agreement with others so other motherfuckers don't encroach and take your little safe space. So therefore, we have money. Money is here to fucking stay. That shit is here to stay. And we have to understand that. So now it's time to learn about what the fuck this money system is about, right? So as I said before, when you have two people trading with paper money, that's cool, but that shit hasn't been backed by backed by gold in forever. And really, we're just passing toilet tissue back and forth. Some of it has a 5-0 written on it. Some of it has a 1 and 2 zeros written on it. Some of it has a 2 and a 0 written on it. But it's just fucking paper. That shit means borderline nothing. So one way that I feel that we should start to use money is with cryptocurrency. Yep. You better learn now, bitch. You better learn now. You better learn now, bitch. You better learn now. Now, cryptocurrency, this one thing about it, is currently being stacked as a asset, right? And you're like, yeah, I could get rich. Well, what's your punk ass gonna do with all that rich shit? Nigga, you gotta use it. That's one thing that you can actually use. And if you start using it now, you'll be in the habit and it'll be teachable to the people around you and you'll be able to actually set up a community. As a matter of fact, I'm about to start selling shit and accepting cryptocurrency for it, right? It makes it a lot easier to stack it that way. If I sell you a hat and I'm able to accept $40 worth of whatever coin whatever token in cryptocurrency I'm willing to accept, I'll begin to stack this little cachet of crypto, and we've done an exchange without paying this guy. Remember this guy in the middle who gets a percentage of all the transactions, all that tracking that goes on? We don't have to involve that motherfucker no more, right? And so you can do business all around the world like that with cryptocurrency transactions. Crypto, it is cryptic. It is encrypted, right? Don't let it get too complicated. This whole cryptocurrency wave started off of a fucking somebody who just wanted transactions to be low key, and where it was between one person and another person for all these wildly illicit things that they were selling. So like, let's keep it that way. It's here, actually. We can actually do that. Motherfuckers live this way already. Okay? So that's one thing about how money is going to look going in the future. Now, jobs have been, people have been displaced out of their job at maybe I'm paying attention more, but this is the craziest rate I've ever seen in my life. And if you don't have very many skills, you don't have a way of replacing that income that job was giving you. And there's nothing on the horizon for your ass. There's nothing on the horizon for your ass. What that looks like going forward is universal basic income. But to stay out of the weeds of that forest, you have to understand that once we have universal basic income, it'll be something like food stamps, but you'll get this type of token or card that can only buy you these types of things. So it won't be like you're getting some money where you could go buy a cantaloupe or some fingernail polish or a ticket to a concert or a new tire. No, this type of card is only for a cantaloupe. So you ask out if you need a new tire. You got to qualify for some other type shit if you want a new tire. So you'll be very controlled in the universal basic income handout, the new welfare system that will come upon us. So right now, while you have the time to make your fucking money, because bitch, you better be waking up making the donuts. Somebody got to make the fucking donuts and use the donut holes in the morning. That's not a pause. And some of you got to use your donut hole to make the donuts. But what you have to do, the most accessible thing right now is this digital media that we have available to us, and gather your crowd. Gather your motherfucking tribe. Let them find you. You find them. Go out, surf this wave, because this is not going backwards. As a matter of fact, I'm reading this book, and dude predicted 100 years forward. He wrote it in 1999. He predicted to 2099 how we'd be living in very detail. I'll have a whole nother episode about this book. But basically, by 2099, humans and computers are going to be so meshed into one another that people won't even be able to tell the damn difference. So in the meantime, while we are able to tell the difference, it is our turn to find the souls of others, to find the connection that we have with others. And you have digital platforms in which you can speak to people directly, gather your crowd, and allow them to subscribe to you monthly, and they'll fucking pay to fuck with you. And that's where you need to be looking at promoting your service and your gifts and doing all your shit to find your crowd, so then we can circulate this bread, right? And then imagine if you did all that shit and then you accepted cryptocurrency for that. Or you could accept the dollar, fuck it, they pay you and then this guy gets the money again. But like, you circulate that motherfucking dollar, you trading it between people, they're getting their monthly dosage of your ism, and then you are charging them whatever you decide to charge them. We see the OnlyFans people killing it off that, right? But it's not just OnlyFans. I mean, think back. Think CDs and tapes, Columbia House, right? You would pay like 99 cents or a penny, whatever it was, you get a whole bunch of music. Catalog ordering used to work like that. What else? Newspapers used to work like that. Like, you would pay for a newspaper, the dude would throw the newspaper to your house every morning. Milk used to work like that. There was a milkman, you paid a monthly. So now we're into information, right? Where you pay monthly and people will give you bread for you turning on these damn screens. Find your crowd that way. You don't need a lot of people. We can all circulate, because money is a circulation thing. If you keep money tucked away for too long, the rats will eat it, or the currency will change. And so it's about circulating that thing. Your money, when put up, your money is melting. So you need to have it working for you, actually. So it always needs to circulate. It's a weird cyclonic effect of what it is. Because when you think about somebody being rich, I don't care if they're a millionaire or a billionaire. It doesn't matter. It's hard for a lot of people to go get that money, put it in a bag, and present it. More than likely, if that person has the money they say they have, it's in something, working, doing a thing. It's circulating in somebody else's hands. And so we need to think about how we are going to collect our money, collect our crowd, and who we're going to circulate our money with. Okay? I don't see the old measures of making money as viable, because robots will replace those things and people don't need as much shit, right? So somebody who was selling an item of whatever they were selling, people could get those items at all times right now, and damn near everybody on the planet has as many of those items as they need. Let's call them widgets. People have all the damn widgets they need. The chances of them buying another widget, you got to have a hell of a marketing campaign for me to buy your widget, because I've already bought all the fucking widgets that I need. Speaking of widgets, you remember the fidget spinner? That was the dumbest shit. And people were really spending, everybody wanted a fucking fidget spinner for like 10 minutes. And people had enough fidget spinners. So now look at most items that don't have utility as fidget spinners. And then everybody is not going to create an item of use. So then you say, okay, you know what? I'm going to create a service of use. Well, I'm going to give you occupations that are going to make a lot of money. Well, let me not say a lot of money, but that are going to be of use in the future. Dental hygienist, lawyer. And that's about it. Every fucking thing else is going to be automated, right? It's crazy, ain't it? But maybe even, a surgeon, right? But we're going to need way more lawyers because intellectual property is going to be infringed upon. People are litigating against everything nowadays. So, you really better gear yourself up to get some bread. Oh, and of course, content creator. But the interesting thing about content creators is that now and going forward, you have artificial intelligence. But think about this, but let me finish first. Don't interrupt don't interrupt me. Okay, I won't. Intelligence comes from the divine mind. Artificial intelligence is fucking second rate. It's artificial. So it's not coming from this. However, the way something moves at a rate and almost at a value of the perception of how it's moving. So that's freaking crazy. So I could be sitting up here with gold. But if the person who's observing it doesn't value it as gold, and then they value somebody with pyrite more valuable than the person holding the gold, then the observer has put value on this pyrite. And who am I with the gold to say that that's not more valuable? Now I'm going to hold on to my gold and I'm going to be like, these motherfuckers just don't know. But what if they never know? And many of us who are innovative have been the victims of being ahead of the curve a little too early, right? And then some of you, think about the musicians of right now, right? There are a lot of people who are fantastically skilled at what they do. And then you got people who are just gimmicky and pushed by industry, and they got 8 videos and everybody is convinced that they're the shit and they get paid real money for it. Well, shit, at that time, the perception becomes somebody's reality, which makes it become somebody's real money, which makes it become somebody's generational wealth. And that's where we get into the tricky, icky side of money. See, one thing that you should never do is justify your actions for something. You should never do something that is less than what your moral standard is in order to acquire money, because you're going to have to live with that. And then the rules might change tomorrow. And it would be like, oh, all you had to do was walk this way to get the money. You didn't have to let somebody walk all up through a chocolate tunnel hole to get some money. All you had to do was just go fill out that paper. Money fall like rain, right? So you don't ever want to compromise yourself for the bread. But it could be extremely frustrating when you see somebody a lot less skilled than you and you see behind the veil of the trick that's being pulled on the public, and the public is paying them and they apparently don't see it. Well, first of all, we have to know that 85% of the people are dumb, deaf, and blind. 10% of the people are going to manipulate that 85% of the people. And 5% of the people are the poor, righteous teachers. And they're just going to hold on to that truth. And some of the poor, righteous teachers might get rich, right? But there is no manipulating the morals in order to get to that. if you were one of the righteous, one of the 5%. And it's generally that ratio in society, from what I understand. And that's just how it works. So you will, as a member of this society, you will always see the manipulation of the dumb, deaf, and blind in order for people to get rich and hoard money. And the hoarding is so silly because once you get a little piece of money, all you're going to do is try to figure out how to keep it. It becomes this thing where people are coming at you for it. People are coming at you with stupid ass investments. People, family members who you never knew, they coming for you. Fucking taxes coming for you. All types of shit is coming at your ass. And then you're trying to figure out, okay, man, you're popping open umbrellas, like trying not to have the lightning and thunder or the money grabbers hit your ass. And then you're just trying to have like a suit of armor so nobody gets your money. And then you end up living in a fucking Jay-Z bubble so nobody can call you or find you because you have money now. And that's what makes this motherfucking shit so tricky. And so while I truly believe money should be a teaching that children learn the intricacies about before they're 12, and it's totally doable, I think that has to come with the real delicate balance, because if it doesn't come with that balance of teaching, then you'll have people doing any fucking thing for the dough. And the cold thing about not having no dough is kind of like a cat having no territory. You will be out here looking in garbage cans for shit. Nobody's going to have sympathy for you. Motherfuckers are mean to the poor. Let me say that again, because I don't think the people in the back heard me.
Motherfuckers are mean to the poor.
You heard what I'm saying? And it's just like that. Matter of fact, your ass is mean to the poor, right? If you go outside and there's 3 people in front of the next store you're going to walk into, but they're not crowding the door, but they're kind of around, part of you're going to be like, damn, I remember this neighborhood was nicer. You're going to be trying to gather your shit together because you think they're going to take your little piece of nothing. And that's just where we are. And that's just how, I don't know if the world is like that, but America for surely is like that. And other people, other countries, they have other morals and they hoard other shit, right? But it's something primal to the capturing of resources, right? Like the cat. Something primal about the one who's able to spray that bush and be like, bitch, this is mine. Give me some of that kitty cat, little mama. My turn. You know? It's something about how that works. And it's just dialed into who we are genetically. But then we take it too fucking far because America is really led by the 10% population who attempts to trick us through scarcity. And they think that they trick 85% of the people in the population to think that there's a scarcity of resources and there's a scarcity of information ways for us to learn how to use the resources in order for us to have food, clothes, and shelter. And that shit gets discouraging. So if for any fucking day out of your lifespan, if you think that ignorance is going to favor you, you're going to experience something that's going to refute that. And you're going to have rainy ass days that'll be fucked up because you brought them on through ignorance. I heard a real wise quote today, and this is in regard to ignorance. Ray Lewis said this, as a matter of fact. He said, if there's something that you think you should change it now before God changes it for you. Woo! Ain't that a mind bender? Change it now before God changes it for you, because you might not like the adjustment that the ethereal one puts on your ass. So if you don't know some shit about money, and we're talking strictly about money, cash money. If there's something you don't know about it, man, crack a book, read some shit, go to the library and be like, where's the financial section? It's free resources you could get. You know, maybe if you go on your phone, you might start looking at something, then you might get derailed. Man, read. Read. Read.
Read.
Read.
It will change so many things from your current state to the state in which you would like to exist. This is not just me telling you. This is me saying it out loud so I can hear it too, because it's super real. And the further you go, I think Winston Churchill said this, the further you go in the past, the more you know about the future. So if you go as far the fuck back in the past, looking at how societies treated money and look how people got their bread, you'll see that there was never a traceable time in which the poor were winning. You always got to have your currency together. So if you think that like working more hours is going to get you money, do that until you figure out how to work with your brain and not your back. Do that until you learn how to work the algorithm instead of to be worked by somebody else's algorithm. We've really got to figure out better, smarter ways to communally work this money. And you have insurance and insurance policies that are ways to make sure that the ones beneath you don't go through the same struggles that you might have gone through. There are certain things that are built in that we just each have to learn about. You know, if you don't learn anything about anything else from now to the next time you see the next episode, read up on life insurance and how a life insurance policy can make sure that your children or the ones who you look after or the ones who you care about can be better off than your hustle struggle was. Just learn one thing a fucking week. You know? If you want to learn something else, or you want to learn 2 things this week, learn about paid subscribers to your digital content. Patreon. Patreon. That's one app where you can get paid subscribers to pay for your content monthly. Another one for all you writers is Substack. Substack. Have something that you can lend to the populace, okay? And this isn't all about just getting out there and being just a dumbass. But I mean, if you have nothing else to do, like, and if all you got is to just be a dumbass, then get paid for being a dumbass. Hey, class clown, the world is yours. You know, if you are just a beautiful ass girl, get it now, because them shit's about to fade. You on the clock, bitch. But shout out to you if you smart enough to work your jelly and use what you got to get what you want. Now's the time. You feel? You cannot be out here not using all of your gifts. You have to take integrity. I mean, not integrity. You have to have integrity, but you have to take inventory of yourself. And you have to allot that said inventory to its best use cases to bring the money. Start with taking inventory of yourself. That's taking inventory of your talents, inventory of your strengths, inventory of your weaknesses. And you work them motherfuckers. If you got a pretty ass smile, you figure out what pretty smiles get motherfuckers and where to use it, where to put it, how to do that thing. right? Maybe you need to be advertising teeth. Maybe you need to take your ass to a dentist's office, get a teeth cleaning there, and say you want to be a fucking teeth model for $100 a month, right? Next thing you know, your ass is getting $100 a month. That's $1,200 a year, and you do that with 5 dentist offices. Now you're making $6,000 a year off a couple pictures of your pearly whites. $6,000 fucking dollars a year that you otherwise wouldn't be making. Do you realize what that $6,000 a year would make invested into something that made fucking compound interest? You got to start thinking. I'm not just talking about you. I'm talking about we. We got to start doing shit differently, you know. And then, if you could find 8 people who were of the same spirit and collective mind state, then it would really be wonderful to bundle some of these common interests, and then everybody just throw a slice in each person's business interest, and then y'all take what something is made, and then y'all put it in the collective thing. I've tried to do that. But niggas is a mess, you know. I really worked with collectives of people and tried to get them on the same page financially, and it was us. We could do it. Hey, look, man, a trainer can't always tell an animal what to do, and that is real life. But it's not up to them. It's up to you on how you govern you. Okay? And if you're stuck, just remember, in the beginning there was a word, and the word became flesh. I'm glad you sat in with me. Make sure you go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Spend a little commerce with your mans. I'm giving you good, high quality, luxurious, fly, durable stuff. You're unique. Get your money on. Peace.